Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Assalamu alaikum brothers and sisters. If you're watching this video and it's Salah time, please pause it and go pray and come back when you're done. Please check out the description section of this video to support the channel. So I've been seeing a lot of multiple wives stuff pop up again, and I had to add my take as a married Muslim woman, especially since most of the perspective on this matter are either male or from women being propositioned to become second, third or fourth wives. First of all, in Islam, the correct term to use is polygyny, not polygamy, as polygamy refers to both males and females having multiple spouses. Polygyny, on the other hand, is in reference to only men being able to have multiple wives, as this is what is permitted in Islam. Polyandry is where a woman can have multiple husbands. This is completely forbidden in Islam. I've done videos on this before explaining why. I'll link them in the description section also. And before the secular liberal atheists have a fit, please worry about your hundreds of haram relationships out with marriage from both men and women resulting in unwanted pregnancies and the spread of STIs, before even thinking about judging Islam, which has the strictest guidelines for 4 marriages at most, if a man can even qualify for it. And that goes for the Disney romance Christians also, trying to prove they are holier by saying they only promote marriage between one husband and one wife. In your Bible, Abraham, Moses, David, Solomon, Jacob and others all had multiple wives, and Jesus had none. So be quiet and go edit your already changed Bible some more. Let's talk about what qualifies a man to have multiple wives in Islam. Firstly, you have to be a righteous practicing Muslim, not someone still finding his feet in the deen or some harami that is using the religion to be a player. The correct intention matters. I suggest to men to make sure your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is solid before you go seeking relationships with multiple women, let alone one woman. Secondly, a man must be able to fulfill the rights of all his wives in regards to their physical needs and financial rights as equally as possible, spending equal amounts of time, money and intimacy with all. Thirdly, he must be mentally equipped to handle 2 or more women's emotions, jealousy, moods, contrasting personalities, menstrual cycles, children, etc., with patience, maturity and kindness. If a man doubts he is able to fulfill the rights of multiple wives, then by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala he is not permitted to have multiple wives. Again, this is not a playboy lifestyle. You're dealing with someone's daughter, sister and in some cases mother. But with that being said, for the sisters, let's not imitate feminists and make what has been made halal on her husband's haram. Yes, it is sunnah for men to marry divorcees and single mothers, but it is not necessary, and this is not why the multiple wives ruling is in place. Let's not sugarcoat it so the liberals like us more. If a wife is not fulfilling a husband's desires, if she is rude or disrespectful, or if she can't give him children or look after the kids she already has properly, then he can choose to marry a second wife. Simply put, if he wants more than one wife and can do so in a halal manner I just described, then he has the right to do so. Many sisters will say if a man has all these things, then why would he want to seek another wife? Which is a good point and is a question for men to answer. Also again, without pandering to the non-believers, men don't need their first wife's consent or permission to marry a second wife. However, it is sunnah to publicise a marriage in good manners to tell your first wife. Why would you as a man be scared to tell her? Plus, keeping it a secret would inevitably lead to lying and deception, which are major sins in Islam. However, I would also like to add for the sisters who are being proposed to become second, third or fourth wives that take it upon themselves to contact men's wives without his consent. This is not your right, especially if he's told you not to or you haven't asked his permission. You can request to meet or speak with the other wife upon his proposal if it's a requirement for you as a woman, and if he doesn't consent to it, then go your separate ways, but never do so off your own back, sisters. Islam protects women's interests at all times. If you're a wife that has tried her best to be patient and understanding but cannot contain your jealousy or resentment towards your husband and his other wives, so much so that is leading you to disobeying God and not fulfilling your husband's rights, then you can seek a divorce. Our commitment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes before everything. However, I must add, it is haram to threaten your husband with a divorce for wanting to marry a second wife, or to pressure him into divorcing one of his other wives. And if you are a Muslim woman about to marry a Muslim man as his first and only wife, you can stipulate before you get married that you don't want him to marry additional wives by putting it in the marriage contract. The husband will be bound by this contract, and if he violates it, you can seek a divorce. And if you are a man who doesn't want these types of stipulations in the nikah contract, then find a woman who won't put them in. I personally don't have these stipulations in my marriage contract. Divorce is frowned upon in Islam, and maintenance of family is very important in Muslim cultures. Let's keep these things in mind when choosing spouses, but most importantly, please ensure the husband or wife you choose to marry is God-fearing and dedicated to the deen. Thank you for watching. Make sure to join my free Telegram group via the link in the description, where we as Muslims can speak freely and without censorship about issues like this, and in order to guide and support each other in our deen. And remember to like, subscribe and become a channel member for access to exclusive content. Until next time, inshallah, Jazakallah khair.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.